I've been toying with changing my trusty Garmin Zumo motorcycle sat nav for quite a while now. I was after something a bit more modern, and I'm an advocate of a standalone sat nav system. I don't really like the idea of using a phone. I just like a sat nav unit which doesn't rely on anything, so its own inbuilt GPS does the job. So obviously my choice was the XT2, Garmin XT2. Upgrading from the Garmin Zumo to the XT2 also gives me a better mapping system, because let's be honest, Basecamp is absolutely rubbish. And from what I can see of the new software, it's pretty good. So while I was looking for reviews on the XT2, the Android Auto and the Apple CarPlay units, the Car Parade, and there's another one, can't remember what it is, kept popping up, and it got my interest going, mainly because of you can use the Waze navigation app, which I use a lot in the car, and I really like Waze. But it doesn't have its own standalone GPS unit, it has to have the phone. Advantages and disadvantages, you decide. Now, while I was looking at those, another one popped up from a company called Chigee in China. It's a very expensive unit. I didn't know a lot about them, but every review I've seen has been top notch. So why did I start looking at the Chigee? Well, it's got a few extras that come with it. Mainly the blind spot detection from the rear camera that comes with it. Also has a front camera, but the rear camera can be used with a bit of software to tell you if cars come up in your blind spot, which is a brilliant idea. Bear in mind that my new helmet, you might have seen the review, is really quite wide, and that blind spot check is a little bit difficult. You've got to really look at it. So this is a brilliant backup, I think. It also comes with its own little GPS unit, which I thought meant I could use it solely as a sat-nav unit and not rely on my phone. That might not be the case now, which I'm a bit disappointed about. I've also heard that the camera qualities are not as good as I thought they would be as well. However, I've already bought it, and it's a lot of money if it doesn't work. Also bought the Tyre pressure sensor kit as well, which is just two dust caps, very similar to what I've got at the moment. So they're supposed to be very accurate, and a brilliant idea if your bike doesn't have it. So I've bought it, we'll fit it, and I'm just hoping that it actually does do the things I wanted it to do, and that the cameras are good enough that I can replace my GoPros on the bike. Well, a couple of them anyway. So what we'll do now is we'll just pop in the garage and start fitting it. So my Evotech Mount came with a bracket which was perfect for my old Garmin Zumo. Unfortunately, this and this do not tie at all. So I've got a couple of options. I'm going to have to take this ball off first and then just see if there's one hole in the middle, in which case I'll just drill straight through there. But then there's only one bolt keeping it in place. Not a massive fan of that. Or there's two screws there. They might be able to do something with them perhaps. But then these screws are a bit in the way. So I'm going to have to cut this down even more. I mean, I've already cut it down once, but it could be a problem. But I think the first thing to do is just take this off and see what we've got to play with. So the ball is on two very small security Torx balls by the looks of it. They're very small. Don't want to be losing these. we'll take these two off. It's got a screen protector on. Oh, looks like it's on the big centre bolt as well. Just on the centre bolt. Yep. Okay, so I've elongated the holes. I made the centre hole a little bit bigger, and now you probably can't tell, but it actually goes on the centre hole and the two top screws. Two screws out of the very top. One. I think I'll have to buy some new little nuts for this top bit as well. Two. Alright, so how far is that going? Yeah, we've got plenty of space. This one going nice and tight. That's the original bolt. Do those for now. And if you can see there, you can see two holes which these little screws are going to go into. So we're looking at something no longer than a centimetre. It's unfortunate, but they're just not quite long enough. So it's that length plus the thickness of that bracket. Now I'm going to have to order some of them. But for now we can go ahead and fit it in place on the one bolt and sort the wiring out. Right, so I've just mounted it on the mount just to see how it looks. Looks pretty good actually. But then I'm going to have to do something about these little wing nuts. If someone wanted, they just undo the wing nuts and it's away. So we're going to get some security bolts to replace them. So we need to take a few of the plastics off to route the wires. So this is just a simple pull off. Plastic cover off reveals 4 bolts, but we're only going to take this off because the wires are going to run down this side. And there's already wires going down the other side, and I don't want to complicate it too much. So just get rid of these two little bolts. Just put them somewhere safe. Just pull it out a little bit and slide it forward. And that just gives you a bit more space to run the wires down the side to the battery area. So we've got our other bits of wires, and we're actually going to have to feed them up to meet these. But we've also got our little GPS unit, which obviously is colour coded, only goes into one of the plugs, it'll only fit in one of them. But while we've got this plastic cover off, there's a nice little space. So if you can see the little flat area just in there, that's where I'm going to stick the GPS unit on. So I've given the area a really good clean. It's just on a 3M double-sided sticky pad. So I'll just stick it. Oh, I think we'll do it facing straight forward. Somewhere like that. So the GPS is the black plug, can only go one way. Simple as that. I think I'll wrap some self-amalgamating tape around there to make it a really good, secure, watertight connection. And then we'll just have to make these wires nice and neat with a cable tie or something. That one is the power. Now, guessing we've got front and rear cameras. Camera front, and can be camera back. So the next thing to do is feed the wires up to meet these at the front there. So I've just taped the connection end onto this little wire rod, and we're just going to feed it up until it comes out this end there, and then that one goes onto there. So our wire was going to go to the battery and the fuse box, and the supply to the head unit. They only go one way. Right, nice and secure. Again, I'm going to wrap some self-amalgamating tape around that one to make sure that's nice and secured too. So GPS and the power connections, I know they're waterproof anyway, but just to make sure, self-amalgamating tape, and then we'll just put them nice and tidy out the way with a few cable ties. Going to move on to the rear camera next for the wiring, because the wiring route's pretty important, and where you put the camera. It's supposed to be in the middle. I've seen it mounted to the bottom of the top box. I quite like it there, but it's a little bit in the way of the brake light, which is a brilliant brake light, by the way. It's very bright and it flashes when you brake hard. But there's a little recess there which might be a bit better, and that can just stick down on one of those 3M double-sided pads. So I think I'm going to put it there, or there, or there. Either way, I'm going to leave enough wire to be able to move it around. So this is my idea. This grommet here, it's a bit stiff to pull out, goes straight down to the under tray. I'm going to drill a small hole straight down, feed the wire up and through, and put a grommet in the under tray to stop water and muck getting in. I've had to get a 12mm drill, so we'll feed that through now. There we go. Just feed the wire up through there. Leaving plenty of spare to run this cable up, and either to there, there, or there. Right, normal grommet for underneath, then a split grommet, which put little slots in for the very top. That'll stop the muck and water getting in. I've had to drill a hole in this little bit of plastic here to feed this through. And now that wire can safely run all the way down, and then just like I do with the other power line, get that bit of wire pushed up to the front of the bike. And there it is. Rear camera, or back camera as this one's called. I think the routing's okay there. Again, only goes one way. Screw these together. And again, we're going to wrap them with amalgamating tape. The front camera, not quite sure where to put this. Obviously it would be perfect just there. Or even on that bar. That probably vibrates too much, but that bar would be absolutely perfect. However, the suspension travel means this mudguard might pop up and hit that, so I don't want to be doing that. I think I'm going to mount just off the side there. So this mounts to there with that 3M double-sided tape, which I'm sure will be far strong enough than necessary. However, I like a bit more. So I've just made this little bracket, which is going to go on the top. I'll add some little bolts, and that'll just secure it in place just a little bit better, like that. So I've just connected up to the battery, the red and the black, positive and negative, don't need to tell you that. The yellow switch wire is on my ignition powered fuse box, which you might have seen on a previous video. So I thought before I go any further, I better test it. So let's turn it on. Oh, take that off. It's on. It appears to be working. Download the app ready. To sort the rear camera positioning out and the blind spot detection, I'll have to turn it on and commission it first, so we'll give it a go. Alright, it's on. English, yeah. Okay. We are Greenwich Mean Time. Open on top, so we need to connect. Connections. Bluetooth. Chigee, oh, not Chigee. Two Chigees. Right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Connecting. Please confirm connection on the device. Connection failed. Connect. Chigee. So it's that. The connection on the device. And if you look at the picture, that isn't that. So let's have a look at the Bluetooth settings. Chigee's connected on the Wi-Fi. 1, 2. This means I've got a Chigee 902, which is connected to OK. And a Chigee 902 IE. This one, which doesn't want to know. Device name Chigee 9022. Password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, we're struggling a bit there. You know what this means, don't you? I'm going to have to read the instructions. Ah, dear. Right, I've done it a few times, on and off, and finally it's come up with the authorization. Okay. Connect. Oh, hasn't connected. Ah, dear me. I thought we were there. There we go again. Connection authorized. Okay. Ah. Please insert a micro SD card. Haven't done that yet. There's a little screw which keeps the waterproof cover on. There's a micro SD card slot. So I purchased a very good quality micro SD card of 128 gigabyte. That's the wrong way around. Oh dear me. Oh no, that's the right way around. Okay, push that back in. Screw that back on. Right. SD card needs to be formatted. Format. Make my Chigee app up. Oh. Right, that's all on. But what I want to do is just set up the rear camera. Go to settings, yeah, okay. Oh. Features. Blind spot detection. Turn that on. Voice alarm, calibration line. Standard 20 km, yeah, that's okay. Now what? should have to set it up, but maybe it is already set up. Oh, can't play on cameras. That's the front camera. Rear camera. Oh, what wonky, of course. Right. So, if I do stick that in there, is it in the way of anything? Just there. I don't want to see my tail tidy, but from there, I think we're fine. I think we're fine there. So it's a little bit out of the way. I'm happy with that. Okay, we'll stick it back in the garage and put the tyre pressure monitor sensors on next. So I've checked the tyre pressures. Tyre pressures are 35 and 42 for mine anyway. So we're going to pair, and it says pair the first. Prepare, so we're going to do external ones, and it's fashioned for the front. So we'll just go around. We'll put the locking nut on first. We'll tighten up later. That's the front one done. And now we do the rear one. Locking nut first. That's the one. Okay, so we're 34.8, pretty accurate. 41.8, pretty accurate. Temperature's a bit odd, one saying 25 degrees, one saying 17. That's very odd. Hopefully they'll just come right over time. Right, I'm going to call it a day for this video. I'll go through the settings and a review on another video after I had a bit of time to play with it. But that's the fitting all done, including the tyre pressure sensors. I've just got the camera to glue into place with those sticky pads, and I might use some little self-tapping screws just to make sure it stays in place. But for now, I hope you've learned something, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more on the bike and our tours coming up. Thanks for watching.